All right, here she is, 2009 KTM SMC 690. In a word, awesome. This bike is so awesome. It's super fun. I've found it very reliable so far, and I always enjoy riding it. So what can you say? I mean, that's what a motorcycle should be, in my opinion. Let's see, to give a little background of bikes that I've had, so you know I'm not being too biased. I've had a Honda CB-F3 sport bike, 600cc sport bike, which was the predecessor to the 600 CBR RR. That was a really fun bike. I've also had two other supermotos. The first one was a Husqvarna SM610. The second one was a Suzuki DRZ 400. And I've had a Kawasaki Vulcan 800, which is a cruiser. So I love motorcycles in general, but of all the bikes I've owned so far, this one is my favorite. As you can see, there's a few things that have been changed on it. The 2009 came with white plastics with like orange and white decals. This one has orange plastics, and the main reason for that is I have a friend who also bought a KTM SMC, and he asked me if we could trade for white plastics, so I did. I like it. It's pretty simple, you know. I haven't added anything else really to it. I have added these little stickers on the front. I just cut some vinyl and put those on, so that looks, I don't know. The headlight I didn't change because he had a black headlight too. So anyway, the bike is almost stock. Let's see, a few of the things that I have changed on it. You can probably see the oil filler cap, just some like anodized stuff. That stock, that's plastic, and I'm not a big fan of having parts like that are plastic. This little guy here, I haven't changed the oil filter covers because I don't really feel the need to. There are a couple changes to the actual performance side of the bike. This is a K&N RU1750 air filter and just a generic crankcase breather filter. And as you can see here, this is from a company called Smart Moto. It basically deletes the oil return line and the SAS valve, which is part of the whole air box, and it's used for emissions controls. So I just decided to get rid of that, and if you do that, you can just cap off the SAS valve and keep the oil return line, but so far I haven't lost any oil, and I haven't found that there was any oil in the crankcase breather or anything. So everything seems to be running perfectly. You do have to remap if you do this. And instead of using just the Evo 1 map, I used the Evo 1 map that was modified on one of the forums. You can check that out. It's just like Evo 1 modified, and you'll find it. So that was the main thing done. Performance wise, I found that I really like the sound of this, but also it just feels better. There's more pickup. Obviously the engine's getting more air. As long as you remap, it's fine. The only thing from the airbox that you have to keep is the air temperature sensor, and as long as that's somewhere near where the air is going into the throttle body, you should be totally fine. So that's that. The other difference that this map has is with the throttle map switch, 2 is performance setting, but on that map, if you look at the values, they're all at 100. And so basically what that tries to do is get rid of the computer with throttle control. So you basically control the throttle, the bike doesn't, which I prefer that. So I just leave it on that. I'm happy with it. So that's pretty much it as far as engine performance goes, because you know these bikes are tuned very well from the factory. That's one of the reasons why they're the most popular, or one of the most popular supermotos or street legal supermotors you can buy, because out of the box they're just amazing. Even with the stock muffler, it was great. So onto the muffler. This is a Wings exhaust, another really quality piece of kit. It was incredible how fast I got this from ordering it. So I ordered it. You order directly from the company. You pay through PayPal. They ship it very quickly if they have them in stock, and then it arrives. So I basically ordered this and got it in about 5 days. It's insane. It's a really quality piece of machining. It's a real carbon fiber tip. It's high grade aluminum. They give you a mid pipe with all the brackets necessary. You can see that's the bracket there. The only thing that you need to keep, which you can't really see from here, is your stock mounting hardware or mounting piece. This came with the baffle that's in it now. I didn't remove it. And they say that you don't actually have to remap the bike if that's all you do. Obviously, if you modify the airbox, then you're going to have to do that anyway. So this also, you can probably tell by looking at it, it's 5 centimeters shorter than stock, which I requested, and he replied no problem. And it just looks a little bit better. I don't think it's that much louder. It hasn't affected the performance at all, so that's that. As far as the header goes, it's stock. And the reason I decided not to change that at all is because from everything I read, it's the same diameter all the way through as all of the other high-end aftermarket headers. So there's no performance gain to be had from that. That's pretty much it. The only other thing that isn't, well, there's a couple other things, but the other main thing that's not stock is the final drive ratio. This is the Enduro ratio, which is 15 tooth up front and 45 tooth in the rear. A lot of people do drop a tooth in the rear, which is, the stock is 16 in the front, so they drop it to a 15 tooth, and then they keep the the rear sprocket, which is 42. This is 45, like I said, which I think is a little bit low for the street. You know, you don't really go that fast on these bikes as far as top speed goes. As it is now, I think top speed's probably about 100. I think with the stock gearing 1642, it's like 120 miles per hour. So I'll probably put a 42 tooth and keep the 15 on the front, just so it's a little bit easier to drive around town and stuff, because right now it's real jerky and you gotta use a lot of clutch. The other thing that I changed, that KTM actually replaced on their newer versions of this, is the fuel filler flange. So what you have here is a piece of metal that screws into the plastic tank, and there's a piece of gas resistant rubber under that. I think it's called Vitron or something. Anyway, the newer bikes come with this metal one, and it looks like it's about 1 millimeter thicker, so it creates a better seal. You can still see there's still fuel leaking out a little bit, but that's because I just filled it up. So, but it's not like it used to be, where it was like coming out the sides everywhere and just being fairly dangerous. So that's that. It's like a $7 part or something. I highly recommend doing that if you have an earlier model KTM, if you're having gas leak issues. Another thing I've seen, and I did actually try before I bought this, was you can actually buy an oil filter O-ring and pop it under this little rubber piece here, and that will also create a better lip. But I was actually leaking from below this, which I think I still might be a little bit, but it's not nearly as bad as it used to be, and that's just very slight. Obviously it depends on how full the gas tank is as well. What else? Oh, the tail light. I just built this myself. You can buy these, whoa, shit. You can buy these LEDs off of eBay. They're fairly cheap. It's like 50 bucks. And then I just made a couple brackets that fit under the hand mount, handlebar mount, or not handlebar, handle mount, whatever, rear handle mount. And then I just mounted my plate up to that. I think it looks fine, and it looks much better than the big thing that stuck out before. So yeah, that's that. Let's see. Oh, I added a ram mount. This is actually not a real one. This is a cheapy one from AliExpress, but it works great. It also comes with the USB if you want to charge your phone, which you can plug your accessory into your accessory port. One of them, there's two of them that come stock with this bike, and so I just put it in the one that only turns that on when the key is on. Okay, so what else? Right now, pick this up again. I'm on like loose gravel here. Right now I believe the bike has around 8,500 miles. So let's see. 8,700. Okay, so that's where it's at right now. Let me start it up. You can get to hear what that pipe sounds like. So as you can tell, it's not super loud, even with it cut 5 centimeters shorter, and I think it looks much better. Let me give it some revs so you can hear what it sounds like at throttle. So it's not crazy loud, but obviously it's a supermoto. It's a single cylinder. It braps, and it's fun to do that. I'm out here at this beautiful river. It's fantastic. South Korea. It's a great place to ride. Great place to live.